you've got some really strong story going and some really interesting stuff. And then you've got some things where it's like, well, that needs some work. Right now, most of that is centered with the women, which is a real bummer. Well, the big question as we start this episode is, will Doug sneeze or not? Because that's what's been happening since before I hit record.
I thought I really was, and now it's gone. It's gone. Gone away.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Back inside.
I say the more that you say that, though, the more likely it is that it's going to happen. Okay. There was like a little hair on the monitor where your face was. But anyway.
You're to say anything about anything now.
Yeah, I get that. All right, so let's jump into tonight's Dynamite. By the way, if you haven't, hit the follow button or subscribed yet, you should go ahead and do that. Yeah, you should go ahead and do that right now.
Clicky.
Maybe leave a 5-star little review before we really get into this. But we opened up with MJF and the Knight Rider for the TNT Championship. Figured I'd do that one for you.
Love it. Knight Rider got a big pop, I thought.
He did. I agree. I thought it was interesting. Excalibur, I don't know if he misspoke here or if I just don't remember, but he said that Kevin Michael Knight had won 3 championships in a calendar year, and I remember 2, but I don't know what the third would be because the trios and the TNT championship, obviously.
Right.
I don't know that he may have just misspoke.
Was he an ROH champ?
Maybe he might have been.
Did he get a tag?
He might have been.
Did he get an ROH tag champ with?
Or maybe like the Pure or the TV.
Speed Nuts. That's what I'm calling him from now on.
Good. But anyway, I don't know. I bring that up mostly just because it's stuck in my brain throughout pretty much the whole match. Which,
it's funny because now that you mention it, I heard him say it, but I thought he was talking about MJF in my head. And then, but now you're right. He was talking about Kevin McKnight, and I don't recall that third title either. So
it might have been an ROH one.
I'll take his word for it.
Yeah. It's not a big deal, but it was just something that was banging around in my brain during this
match.
It
is. Now it is.
Now it is. Could we Google it? Sure. Are we gonna? Nah.
No, there's no way for us to know. There's literally no way for us to know,
that's
Tim.
True.
No
that's
way.
True. You're right.
No way.
But as for the match itself, I thought this was a really, really good match, and I was honestly pretty shocked that MJF did not win here.
I was stunned. I literally said, Kevin Knight with the low blow for the win, color me surprised.
Yeah.
But great match. Amazing match. Loved it. And I thought he was, MJF's doing the knee thing. He's working on the knee. I thought that was going to be the end of it. All right. I'm kind of intrigued by what's next. Kind of intrigued.
I am too. There was a lot of, maybe not a lot of that tonight, but there were a couple of things tonight that I went, okay, well, I'm very intrigued by what are you going to do now? Yeah. But yeah, that surprised me a bit. What did you think of Darby dropping in for the save?
Meh. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but
yeah,
I don't know. It seems a bit like, look, I get, we understand. Look, you were the Sting protege for a while. We get it. You didn't need to drop from the rafters, but, and here's the thing about dropping from the rafters. When Sting was doing it back in the day, it's because you never knew where he was and he would just randomly show up. But when Darby does it at the beginning of the show,
yeah,
then it's like, okay, he's planning to do it. It just, the mystique is different. It doesn't hit the same. And I could have done without it. He could have just came in from the crowd or came in from the ramp. That was fine. But there was a lot of post-match chicanery going on, which I got to be honest, kind of dug it. But the dropping from the ceiling, okay. I mean, look, we get it. Sting came out when he won the title. You're his buddy. You're his son. Whatever. But I don't know if we needed that one.
Yeah, it's not the first time that they've done it. I just thought in my mind, I was like, I don't understand why we're doing the Sting impression when the whole point of this, and they would reiterate it, is that Darby is still saying no.
Mhm.
So why are you getting involved here? Like, I think it makes more sense from a kayfabe standpoint if it's like, well, yeah, he and Max are like full on beefing, but
Yes.
they're really not. And other than it's just the good guy thing to do, I don't know. It felt a little strange, I guess.
It was weird, and like I said, you had a lot of post-match chicanery. You had Max attacking after the bell, then Darby dropping from the rafters and doing the Scorpion Death Drop. Yeah, I think the Death Drop alone is the tip of the hat. That's really all you needed.
Yeah.
Um, Max wants his rematch. Darby again says no, says Kevin Knight deserves it. Then Brody comes out and says, "That's great, but you ain't winning tonight, Darby. It's me against Kevin Knight next week." A lot of story mixing and matching going on after this match, which actually I was kind of okay with. Kind of okay with it.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I just thought him coming out of the rafters was an odd choice, but
A bit
whatever.
much. A bit
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. But everything else I was fine with. So from that, we went to Renee, who kudos to her for powering through tonight, despite the fact she was clearly losing her voice.
Right.
She was backstage with Edge and Christian. Literally, all I wrote here was, okay.
Yes. What did you before that though? We got the video recap of Darby and Brody.
Yeah,
What
I'm
did you
mostly
think?
skipping those recaps.
Here's the thing. I liked this one. I liked it a
Okay.
lot because
Okay.
it felt different to me. The music was intense. The video editing it was sharper. I felt like they were trying a little bit harder on this. I don't know if that seems unfair, but this seemed like they decided to take a different creative tack to it, and it was short, it was efficient, and it felt like it had a lot of energy and oomph, and I really liked it. And I don't know where they're getting this new type of preview from. I feel like maybe they're taking borrowing some ideas, which is great. But I thought it really worked, and because a lot of times I think when they do these recaps, they're a little too long, and we don't really need them. But this one was bing, bing, bing energy, and I really liked it. But then yes, we get to Cope and Christian and
Mhm.
Renee. Okay, and again, apparently we need to watch Collision because FTR said now the Street Fights and I Quit match.
I
Okay.
did know that because I had read it on the interwebs. My thought on that is I fear we're overbooking this a little
You
bit.
think? You think?
Yeah, because it's a street fight and an I Quit match, which I feel like you
And
only needed one of those.
right, and the stip of if we lose, we aren't going to team again.
Right,
But only Cage and Cope have that.
right.
So
It's what I will say that is quasi interesting about this is right now it feels like there's a whole bunch stacked against Edge and Christian. I can't bring
yes,
myself to say Cope, and I don't know why.
because
Um,
it doesn't flow well, and it is kind of dopey sounding.
well, and every time that I've seen him, my brain, like I can't divorce my brain from Edge when I see him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But anyway, um, I it feels like they're stacking the deck really hard against them. It
Hmm.
feels like there's almost no way they win it, which makes me wonder if they are going to switch the belts here. I'll
Yeah.
tell you though, the more I think about it, the more I think it might be more interesting to have them lose and have them break up because I don't know where you go from there, but it
Hmm.
might be a better angle for both of them to go their own way.
I wouldn't argue with that. It does feel like in the past, Tony has always tipped his hat to these guys that are, and no offense to either one of them, they're killing it out there, but they're on the back end of their careers. And Tony likes to give a tip of the hat to let them ride out on their shields. And so it does feel like they're stacking the deck so that they can come out with a W. But I agree, the storytelling is going to be interesting because it is an I Quit match. And if you don't think that's going to come into play, it definitely is,
But yeah,
especially when Edge is telling Christian, your record with I Quit matches isn't great.
yeah.
So they're already laying the groundwork that there's going to be some kind of weird chicanery going on. So It is hard to tell where we're going with this, but I'm in. I like it. I'm
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I
But it
think
is
there's no question it's gonna be a good match.
a
I just
bit
think it's a
overbooked, yes.
yeah, it's overbooked. Yeah. And it does set up some interesting future storytelling. Going back to what you were saying of Tony likes to let them go out on their shield. Yeah, he does. But part of it also is he likes being able to take these legends that he gets a hold of and say they held a belt, right? Like
Yeah, oh,
it
100%, yeah.
matters if you say Edge and Christian held the AEW tag team titles, like that's part of what he's doing is creating the lineage of the titles. And I get that. And I don't think that's a bad idea.
No, and
Um,
I would have a hard time arguing with putting the belts on them,
I would
especially
too.
having them fight from underneath and against the odds. You have them hold it for a while. There's no shame in that. You lose it to someone like the Bucks or Don
The
Callis family or
dogs,
something like that.
maybe.
The
Yeah.
dogs, oh, the dog, that'd be great. But yeah, I would have no problem with either scenario of them winning or losing.
Yeah, I agree. So, they're doing a nice job with the build to this. I'll give them that. It's just a tad overbooked.
Yep,
Um,
I would
I
agree.
love me some Great British Baking Show. This is where the judges would say you just slightly overbaked it, you know.
For 2 seconds, I thought that was your segue into the Brawling Birds because it's the Great British Baking Show, and they're next. Oh, is that what it
Yeah.
was? Did I get it?
Yes.
Alright.
Let's say that that's where I
Yay!
was going with it. Yeah. Speaking of Brits, the Brawling Birds came out. See, we got there. We tied it together.
You did, yeah.
And they fought some people that were going to lose. That's what I wrote down. Some people that are going to lose.
Yep. I put Brawling Birds versus 2 women, dominant win. The other team never got to tag in.
No. I mean, I'll say this, it was a proper squash.
Yeah,
And it wasn't the only
which,
one we would see tonight.
by the way, Proper Squash, I think, is the next challenge on the British Baking Show. I'm
It
pretty
is.
sure.
Yeah, it's
Cooking a
squash
proper
week.
squash. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Squash
Um,
week. God.
yeah. Um, but it's a proper squash match, which we don't usually get with AEW. They usually let the other person get some offense in.
Mhm.
And like I said, not the only one of those we would see tonight, but we'll get to that. But here's what I thought about it. Like, okay, you let them showcase some of their teamwork ability and made them look like a good team. Other than that, I don't know that this did a lot for them. It's obvious to me that they're going to be the next contenders for the women's tag titles, that it's going to be them and Divine Dominion at Double or Nothing. Just start building the program. Just
Yeah.
get into it.
Yep. Yep. This is where I started to go down the because, well, I'll get into it at the end.
Okay.
I'll touch back on this at the end.
Okay. After that, speaking of ladies, we went to Sky Blue and Tekla, and my main takeaway from this is that Tekla's promos just get better and better. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know what changed, but I'm really enjoying her promos.
Yeah. And I was a little confused because I had written down Swerve was at the NFL draft. And when you said we go to the ladies, I was like, oh. Don't let
I
Swerve hear you
skipped.
say that.
I mean, yes, technically that is what came next. I
Yeah.
skipped some stuff in my recap because whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. But I just thought it was interesting that they, of all the people, the guy who hasn't been on TV in a while was at the draft for you. That's all.
Yeah,
But yes, Tekla, Sky Blue. Sky Blue didn't have much to add,
Mhm.
although the sisters got a win over who I can't think of the other the CMLL.
Oh, Persephone.
Persephone was
Yeah,
tagging with
Statlander, right?
no, the other one
No.
with the half of the birds.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And the bird, oh no, Persephone got sprayed in the face, and so they got the pinfall over half of the brawling birds. So I mean, they continued that tension and storyline a little bit, but yeah, Tekla's promos are heating up. I
Yeah.
like the new swagger she's got,
Mhm.
and again, I think it's what we referenced before. Is this is how I think we both felt she should have been presented from the get go, and the promos are now catching up, and I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
I agree. Going back to that match with the win over one half of the birds, they'll probably do a match between them and the Sisters of Sin at some point because why not?
Yeah.
where it'll be, well, you only beat half of us, you know. Um, the Persephone thing is a little bit interesting because there's some rumblings that she's going to be finishing up with CMLL relatively soon, and that AAA, aka WWE, is hot after her. So
Got it.
I'm wondering if the Mist is a little bit of a write off to take her, because I think she's one of those that's on a dual AEW CMLL contract.
Could be, yeah.
Um, so it makes me wonder if that's a write out because she's not going to resign. I don't know. We will see.
Interesting. Interesting. Could
Yep,
be. Could
we
be.
will see. Then, I mean, there might have been something else I didn't write down. I'm
Nope.
skipping over it, but nope. Then it was Okada and Ace Austin for the international title. Nice to see the international title on TV again. You kind of forget
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I guess he's defended it. This was the 5th time this year, they
Correct.
said?
Yeah.
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 5
He
times.
was 4-0 to that point. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, look, this was a really good match, I thought. This was a great opportunity for Ace Austin to look really good against a guy who, as they pointed out during the match, is one of the best ever in Okada. I thought they did a really, really strong match here. Unfortunately, at no point did I think Ace Austin was going to win.
No. No. But and here's the deal, like, at first I was like, "What are they doing?" And then I was like, "You know what? That's fine because you're building up one of your new acquisitions." And I have been noticing that they're trying to make efforts to take their established people and have solid matches with these newer guys, not necessarily younger, but newer, and and they don't even have to win. But man, Austin looked great tonight. Now the only caveat I'll put is I hope they keep his momentum going because he looked really good. He looked really strong. Although that one drop kick he ate near the end of the match when he was coming off the top rope, I thought he legit broke his jaw. That
Yeah,
looked
that
so
was one that got a verbal reaction from me where I was like, "Oh,
same,
like,
same.
oof."
Yeah, that one was rough looking. But and of
Yeah.
course then Takeshita comes out and we're finally going to see them in 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, just shy of a month. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So, look, good match. I'm with you. I hope they capitalize on this momentum with Ace Austin. In the past, I would have been a little leery of that. But I will say the stuff they did with Speedball and Kevin Knight has given me some optimism that they can build on this. I don't know
Yep.
if they will, but I hope they
Right.
do.
Yeah, I hope they do too because he looked really good.
He did. He did.
And let me give it to Don Callis. Even though he's healing it up, he always puts over the opposition for the obvious qualities that they have. He always puts over that they're great athletes, that they know what they're doing, but then he is going to put Okada over. So hats off to Don Callis for actually making that believable and doing a hell of a job because he's so good. He's just so
He
damn
is.
good.
He is. He's tremendous. Yeah, I agree. Then we went to the what I thought was a Bandido vignette, but it turns out no, it's a Swerve vignette.
What did you think? I'm so curious as to what your reaction was.
So the vignette itself, I loved. I thought it was really cool. I believe they call that a oneer, where it's just all one shot. Like I don't think there were any cuts in there.
I don't think so, no.
I think it was just one continuous shot. I thought that was really cool that they did it that way. Like I said, I started out thinking it was for Bandido, and then for it to be Swerve, I went, okay, that's interesting. So I'm split on this one because for the vignette itself, loved it.
Yep.
Loved it. Thought it was great. I think it's really weird to start a program between Swerve and Bandido. Makes no sense to me.
That was my thought. And
No, I don't get it.
the only thought I can think of is that Bandido is Brody's guy,
Mm,
but there's no it was weird. I
it
liked
was.
it, but I thought, okay, you're bringing the guy that had the world title, and you're bringing him after the ROH heavyweight champ, Bandido. Okay, if we get to see Swerve and Bandido, I'm in. But
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, that was my thought of like, look, I'm not going to say no to that match. I think it's going to be very good.
well, yeah,
Um, but it's a weird one for this to be Swerve's return program after, a couple weeks away when you're looking at, everything that he was involved in before to me feels unfinished. And you've also got Kenny Omega, who again we did not see.
No, we did not.
After his weird, like, oh, maybe it's not too late, or maybe it's not, or whatever it was a couple weeks ago. That feels to me like that would have made more sense putting those two guys back together rather than sending Swerve at Bandido. Again, I'm not mad at it. I just it's a head scratcher to me. I don't get it, and I hope that they provide some sort of explanation as to why Swerve is targeting Bandido, and I hope it goes beyond the ROH title. Nothing against the ROH title. I want some context here, and I want it to matter more than that.
Need a little more meat on that sandwich.
Yeah.
And for 2 seconds, until I saw the boots walk out, I thought, holy crap, is this going to be a Hangman vignette? Because I'm like,
that's interesting.
It's a Western. Stuff going on. And then the boots came out. I'm like, well, that's not Hangman. What the heck? And then the hands come down. I'm like, oh my gosh, Swerve? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I 100% agree. I love the vignette. Thought it was really cool. As a matter of fact, I had between the vignette and the match before, I had turned and like got something to drink like for just 3 seconds, looked up. I thought it was a commercial at first. I didn't realize it was just, and then I'm like, wait, there's still closed captioning. What? Loved it though. I thought it was really cool.
I agree. I think this segment itself was great. I want to make that very clear. So it was very, very cool. I just don't get putting these two guys together, but they've got time to explain it. If we're going to get this match at Double or Nothing, which I assume we are, they've got time to explain it. So I hope they do.
Same.
From there, Ospreay and the Death Riders, which was really interesting to me.
I loved it.
I did too.
This is kind of what I was hoping for when they stole him last week. The way it was set up was a little odd because there was no contention, but like, I really liked it.
Yeah.
And Ospreay's, it just was, I thought it was really good. Finally, this was something that I thought like Mox should have been doing from the word go with these younger guys and bringing them in and testing their mettle. And I really liked it. And I did love how Pac is giving Ospreay the stink eye and Mox is just like, ah!
Yeah. I loved that. I laughed at that. I thought it was really good. This ties in a little bit to Collision, where if you didn't see it, they had done a very similar backstage where basically Mox said to him, we can make you essentially like the ultimate weapon. It's up to you. Right. Ospreay showing up is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Really interesting. I have no idea where we're going with this, but I love it. I am super intrigued. This is the most interested I have been in Jon Moxley in quite some time.
Yep.
He was really good in this.
Yes, he was. And I think it's a really interesting option for Ospreay. I think it's a really interesting device for him. And I think I'm super intrigued by it. And it's not the last time we're going to hear about Ospreay in the night.
It's not. What am I forgetting?
Nope.
Well, you bring it up when we get there. And
yep, we'll get to it.
And I'm sure I'll go, oh, yeah, okay. Then we got Edge and Christian and RPG Vice. Good match, solid. Good storytelling with them working Christian's arm, which is obviously going to be a thing between now and Double or Nothing. It's not going to magically get better. My other thought here was I had two other thoughts. Number one, the finisher that Edge and Christian broke out was great. I thought that was really cool. Why did the conglomeration get involved? I don't understand that one.
They spell it out a little bit in a backstage vignette later, but I think it's just a trigger to get a trios title match with FTR and Ciampa. it was really weird, and why Stokely decided to swing on Orange is way out of character.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. I will say Orange giving him the noogie was really funny. I really enjoyed that.
Yep.
Um, I think this is another one where it's out of order. I think that this makes a lot more sense if they had done the backstage challenging for the trios prior to it. Now, granted, if they had done that, we would have been sitting here going, "Well, that's out of the blue. That's weird." You know, there wasn't a great way to do it here. The way, to get them to the trios match, I don't know that there was a great way to do it other than having probably Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly just have a tag team match against FTR
Right.
and let it all break down and let it go from there. So it's a very wonky way to get to the match that we'll talk about more when we get to that vignette, but it was real wonky to me. I don't hate it. It just was
Yep.
weird.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was like, "Okay, I guess
Yeah,
this is a weird." My only thought was, "Okay, this is a way to get the interference out of the match." And that's okay. It's like, "All right, I get that. That's fine. I can live with that."
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was just a little odd, but whatever.
what did you think of of Christian's post-match chair demolition and then what he had Edge do with it?
I thought that first of all, I was not sure where we were going with it. I thought he was going to try and break somebody's arm,
I
like
did too.
his was. So I thought that was interesting to switch it. I thought it was very interesting. I think to me, my interpretation of it is that the point is to show you that they are ruthless.
Mhm.
That this is the version of both of these guys that we have seen before of they'll do whatever it takes. Um and again, when you're talking about a match that is setting up to be fairly brutal,
Mhm.
potentially,
Yep.
I think that makes sense to showcase that side of both of them. Um, so I thought from a storytelling standpoint made a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I was fine with it, I guess.
I just thought it was interesting. It's not like you, I didn't think that's where they were going with that. I thought,
Mhm.
"Alright, he's gonna try to break his arm." No, maybe he's gonna do a one-man concerto?
Yeah, I
No.
thought that too. Yeah.
Okay, he's alright. Oh, interesting. I love the storytelling with the arm. The arm is clearly gonna be part of the story. The I Quit is gonna be part of that story, so we'll see how
Yep.
that goes. So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting.
Mhm.
Then Jericho got his ass whipped again backstage. I didn't have a problem with it. I don't mind the demand consistently whipping his ass.
Mhm.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I will say I thought Ricochet was kind of meh here. He's not great at this talking while beating somebody up because he just repeats, the same thing over and over again. And uh, it's okay. I'd rather you just not talk and lay a beat down on him.
Yeah. Or let the other 2 guys beat him up and you just
Yeah.
say stuff.
Yeah.
But I did like the faux Rico salt at the end, and
Hmm.
then just, "It's not even worth my time."
Yeah.
I
I
thought that was
think it would have been a little bit better if, and not that this was a bad segment by any means, but I think it would have been a little bit better if the Gates of Agony had just wailed on him since they're big dudes anyway, had just, destroyed Jericho, and then Ricochet did the fake, Rick assault
Mhm.
and said the thing of you're not even worth it and just walked away. That would have been I would have been like, "Oh, damn."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that was really good." So, you know, little tweak and that's a really, really good segment.
Yeah. But it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
I think it's an interesting angle for Jericho to take on his way back to get his
Mhm.
ass whooped every week, but I'm still watching.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really curious where this is going
Mhm.
because especially since the Hurt Syndicate did not make the save tonight,
Right.
it makes me think maybe that was just a one-off and Jericho's gonna find some other dudes to help him at Double or Nothing because of course that's where this is going. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It is interesting.
Mhm.
That's really all you can ask for. Um,
Then, for the
yeah.
first time in 3 weeks, we see the women's tag team champs.
Yeah, Stat and Sheeta versus Divine Dominion. I thought the match was pretty good. Really thought the Sheeta turn was officially happening here. It was weird to me that it didn't.
Yep. It was interesting because they had Renee do a recap of a conversation she had with Sheeta talking about, look, me and Stat have tagged more than me and anybody else in AEW and more than her and anybody else in AEW. So we're going to be great. And then when she kicked Stat and suplexed her into the corner onto the, I believe it was not Megan Bain.
Correct. It was other tall lady whose name we can't remember.
Cross?
Sure.
Yeah. And then she's just like, go get her, get her. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, that felt to me like the moment where the turn happened, and then it didn't.
I thought for sure when Stat was trying to make the hot tag that Sheeta was gonna do little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms and short armor, but
that's what I thought too.
And Statlander pulling out the 450 at the end, dude.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Like I said, match was pretty good. It's just weird. The Sheeta Statlander thing to me in general is just weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all agree that this is going to end with Sheeta turning on her, so I don't know why we're still dragging it out.
This is one of the things I was talking about earlier, where for a story-heavy show, because this had a lot of story elements in it, the women's storylines are not coherent right now. You had the Brawlin' Birds reasons. There's no clear, they're still kind of beefing with Tekla and the sisters, but nothing, it was just a promo vignette and a squash. So meh. And then you had this where the story's kind of messy because when Sheeta came back, they made it clear that, oh, she's gonna be heel. She's gonna be not fun to be around. And now she's this weird, I don't even know what character she's playing.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a full turn.
No.
So I just feel like it feels to me like they are trying really hard to go story first, but they don't have much of a story for the ladies right now. And I think it's a shame because I think, you've got so much talent there and there could be something, but I don't know what it is. And I don't have much of a clue as to what we're getting to, especially with these four.
Yeah, I agree. It's very odd. And I don't necessarily mind the weirdness of it if it's kind of going in a more, I'm going to say obvious, for lack of a better term, direction.
Right.
And it just feels real muddled and just real like, it's like you're going, well, we kind of like what we're doing here. We kind of like this, but we're not quite ready to pull the trigger.
Yep.
And I don't really get that, because for as much as we have for the last couple of weeks been like, man, they're moving awfully fast on some of this stuff. This one, if we're right that this is ultimately building to Statlander and Sheeta potentially a double or nothing, this one you're almost moving too slow. You're flirting with moving a little too slow on it, especially when there's not a lot of that character development with Sheeta, whom we haven't seen in a long time and is clearly doing a different version than what we've been used to.
Yep. I just wrote story's messy, no real follow-up, no real direction.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. And then that actually leads in nicely to the backstage with Andrade, Don Callis, and MJF, because I thought this one was messy and no real story either. Like, I know that there's sort of a story here of, hey, I paid you to take these guys out and you didn't do it. But Andrade just repeating himself over and over again, I thought was very odd.
How you know?
Yeah. I thought that was weird.
I thought it was super weird. I enjoyed him saying it. I didn't get it, but I enjoyed him saying it.
I got a little bit of a kick out of it, but I just don't get it.
It is weird because he was the one guy that was like, Don, what are we doing? We shouldn't be working with this guy. I want his belt.
Right.
And they tried to clean it up with Don going, look, let's not fight. He doesn't have a belt. We don't need to be fighting him. He needs a belt because we're all better off when he has it. So let's just all play along. And so I like Don being able to try and smooth it over and be trying to make sense of the weirdness. but and I understand MJF being mad at Andrade, and he's blaming Andrade for not beating Darby, and that's what caused this whole thing.
Yeah.
So I did like that, but Andrade's role tonight was, who had been on such a solid trajectory. This was weird, and I didn't get it.
I agree. It felt to me like a little bit of a sloppy setup for MJF and Andrade to wrestle potentially this coming Wednesday. I don't know. I agree with you. It felt weird, felt a little sloppy. I don't get it, especially with it being those guys. It was a little weird.
Yeah.
Anywho.
What did you think of the next vignette? I'm curious because we
what
had
was it? Because I didn't write it down.
On the ops.
Was that next? I have that after a match.
Oh, Roosh won. Sorry.
Yeah, Roosh was the second proper squash of the night against a jobber.
I took my dog out because he had to poo. So
no, that's fine. I mean, it's a squash. It's a straight up squash. The dude got no offense in. It was all Roosh. So it was the second proper squash of the night. My only thought on this was, okay, if you're doing this because we're going to do something with Roosh again, good, because I like him. I like seeing him. But again, same thing like we said with Ace Austin. Okay, but now let's make sure that momentum happens and continues.
Yep.
So then the ops backstage.
Yes. What'd you think of that? It was different.
It was different. I thought it was very interesting to me for two reasons. Number one was that felt pretty babyface to me for a group that turned heel and had been working heel. That felt a little bit like babyface Joe talking about like putting them over as being badasses, but also kind of, I don't know, like Joe is one of those guys where it's always going to be the same with him regardless of how he's working, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Austin was the same way, and Austin's my favorite wrestler ever,
Yep.
It felt a little bit more on the face side to me, whether that was intentional or not. The other thing I thought was very interesting was that I guess Bowens is now officially part of the group.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I like that if it means they feature him, if it means that he's going to actually get a role, because I like that dude. So now do something here. Make this group matter.
By the way, this is the second time in the night that we heard about Ospreay, because Joe's like,
yeah.
Will Ospreay, what are you doing with Mox?
You're right. I did forget about that.
We were the ones that saved you. So now you have two factions vying for Ospreay's attentions.
Yeah. You know what?
Interesting. And go ahead.
Well, no, I just was going to say I meant to write it down, and I guess I forgot, because when he said that in my head, I went, so Ospreay is just the prettiest girl in school all of a sudden.
Yes. I have this feeling, and I could be way wrong, but it feels a little bit like maybe we could be seeing Hook, like Joe doing the face turn and Hook staying heel, and those two vying for control of the ops. And you could see Hook and Bowens pairing off, and Joe and
Shibata.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Joe and Shibata pairing off and going at it. I don't know why there really wasn't anything overt, but it just feels like that would be the way, because what was it, 6 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Shibata and Hook were like, we're recruiting.
And then nothing.
Nope.
Nothing.
Bowens came to them. They didn't even go to Bowens.
Right. And the other thing about that too is I was like, so, okay, just like that, everything's fine, even though Joe gets hurt and Hook is immediately like, I'm the leader now.
Yep.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. Right. Like, and I think the way they were positioned mattered, with Bowens 100. And Hook next to each other, a little bit of space, and then Joe and Shibata.
Mm-hmm.
Joe put Shibata over first. Shibata was kind of like, I mean, like he doesn't talk, as I get it. I liked the cell phone bit, but I get it doesn't work for the current version of the character. I agree with you. It felt to me like this is either going to be the ops turning on Joe, or same thing, that they're going to split them 2 and 2. and that's where it's going to go. I think that's probably the more likely is that they're going to split them.
Same, and I think that's okay.
I do too. I do too.
Again, like you said, if we get more Bowens on TV, I'm in, because like we said the last time he was on, I was like, oh my God, he's so good. And we've forgotten that because we haven't seen him enough. So yeah, put him on TV. Let's see that happen. Love it.
Yep. I agree. So again, hopefully we carry this momentum forward. We're starting to get into the territory though, where you got a lot of people where it feels like you either have momentum or you're trying to build it, and it's like you only got so much time. So
exactly.
Yeah. Then in the previously mentioned FTR backstage, where it was a little convoluted to me. Of I guess if they win, then it's the trios shot, but if the conglomeration guys win in a tag match, then they get a shot at the tag titles. Do I have that right?
I don't know, because
Or no, it's a one-on-one.
Orange Cassidy is taking on Dax.
Yes.
And they're calling it a double
Jeopardy match. I don't
get.
Yeah, I don't even.
Because if Orange Cassidy wins something,
I think if he wins, then some version of the three of them get a championship match for the tag titles. But if Dax wins, then the two of them and Ciampa will challenge for the trios title. And aside from a little bit confusing stipulation there, what I put down here was having Ciampa be the third man and immediately revealing him almost makes me feel like they gave away the ending of next week's match. It almost makes me feel like Dax is winning and it's going to be them fighting for the trios championship, because I don't know why you immediately reveal Ciampa.
Yeah.
If not to make that the match.
Why would you spoil that? So
yeah, exactly.
It does feel like that's where we're going.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't shock me if Ciampa costs Orange Cassidy the match so that he can get a trios title.
Yeah, I agree. And from that standpoint, it feels to me a little bit like a missed opportunity. It feels to me a little bit like you could have teased us with, it's not going to be Stoke. We got somebody else up our sleeve, and you could have teased that to next week for the match.
Or they could let them believe it's going to be Stoke.
And that's true.
And then show up the night of and be like, we never said it was going to be Stoke.
Yeah. That would have been really good too. Yeah.
So I do believe they kind of show their hand a bit on that one, but okay.
But again, like I said, I think last week, they have really liked to go opposite of what the seemingly obvious path is. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was main event time, and Brody and Darbs, which is in my mind Darbz. Darbs.
I think that's the only way you could spell it.
I think so.
With that guy.
Yeah.
This was a hell of a match.
It was really good.
I really and here's the thing. I am buying more into Darby as the AEW champion.
I am too.
In this vein, in this mold of being a fighting champion, of just being so tenacious that he's this guy's never going to give up. And so there's something kind of cool about that's your champ, that he knows he's going to have an uphill battle every time he steps in the ring. And it's kind of, I'm okay. I'm happier with it than I thought I was going to be. But the only issue I have with this match is I am such a mark right now for Brody King. Mm-hmm. I really wanted him to win, but I didn't think he was going to, but I really, really wanted him to win.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the bummer of it, is I wanted Brody to win. I don't care about Kevin Michael Knight next week. Like I said, I think they have him on a trajectory where one day I'm going to want him to be the world champ, but we're not there yet.
No.
I agree with you on the Brody thing. This is the problem of having, like, it's a good problem to have, I think, but this is the problem of having multiple storylines running with the world championship, which is that I know the story is Darby and MJF. I know that's the story. So when you throw Brody at him, when you throw Kevin Knight at him, I'm immediately going, it'll be an entertaining match, but I know who's winning because I know what the story is. But to your point, I wrote down as well. They're making Darby look legit. They're doing a really good job with him. Also, let me tip the cap to him. I feel like he's put some muscle on lately. Like, I don't know if he's on a new training regimen or a new, nutrition plan, but I feel like Darby's never gonna like bulk, you know what I mean? But I'm like, he's put some muscle on. Like, he's looking pretty legit lately. And
Yep.
you combine that with the stuff they're doing in the ring with him and the way that opponents are really selling for him and really making him look good. Yeah, you've made me a believer. Good job. I'm
Yep.
in. Like, you have gotten me in on world champion Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Now, that said, would I prefer that they switch it back to Max at Double or Nothing? I would. I
Yeah.
would.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
good job. Good job
Yeah.
nonetheless.
I will say, and again, this match, I thought this match was really good. Brody going through the barricade was brutal.
Yeah, that was
The coffin
bonkers.
drop to the cement.
Yep.
Oh my God. These two let it out. And I don't know. It was it was a really impressive match. I really liked it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I like the fact that you've got MJF watching, you've got Kevin Michael McNutt watching from the rafters, kind of sorta.
Yeah,
So
just standing in the aisle there, which I'm
yeah.
pretty sure is a fire hazard, but,
Yeah. Exactly. Way to go. Way to go,
yeah.
champ.
But yeah, no, I liked everything about it. I really did. I really enjoyed this. I liked everything about it. I liked everything that went into it. Um, yeah, I good job. You got
Yeah.
me on board with this, and I really didn't think I was gonna be. So good job.
Yeah. I thought tonight, like I alluded to earlier, I thought tonight was very story heavy,
Mhm.
which I'm a fan of.
Mhm.
And you bookended it with probably your two most coherent stories, although the heavyweight title is a little wonky, but it's clear that they know what they're doing and know where they're going with it.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for the women because I do not feel those storylines are coherent at all. And I hope we don't ruin any momentum that we're getting with Roosh and with Ace Austin. And the the absences are being noticed as far as
Yes.
I'm concerned. The
Yes.
Kenny Omegas being gone. Again, the Radicals who were hot as all get out, nowhere to be seen tonight. Not even mentioned other than Ace Austin. Wait, no, he's with the
He's
Guns.
with Bang Bang Gang.
He's
Yeah.
with Bang Bang Gang. Oh, no mention of the Radicals. And you got Swerve back, but he's going against Bandido, which, okay, that's story, but we don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Oh, again, a tip of the hat for them putting story first. I really, really, really want them to clean up the ladies and the women's division and get some solid stories because it's not like they don't have enough bodies in the building at this point. They have enough people, they have enough players that they could do something coherent. They could do something valid.
Yeah.
It's just not there yet, and it's just
Yeah.
disappointing. I mean, you've got Willow going up against Anna Jay. Anna Jay's not going to win.
No, but I will say this, when I saw the tease for that, I went, "Okay, that's interesting because we haven't seen her in quite a while."
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm curious how that match is gonna play itself out because, again, I think AEW has done a great job of figuring out how to make somebody look really good and to start building momentum for them in a loss.
Yeah. Yeah. With the men, I don't think they've done the same for the women at
I
all.
agree, but I'm curious about the match to see if they manage to pull it off with Anna Jay because I don't know why you put her in that spot if the idea isn't to then utilize her again.
Mhm.
And, it's to your point on the absences, particularly with the women, Willow not being on TV tonight, I thought was very interesting. That's, I think, a couple weeks in a row. And she might be
Also
your most interesting, in the women's division.
Also, where's Camille?
I had the same thought tonight. Where is Camille? Right? Because we're talking about, capitalize on the momentum. You bring her back on the pay-per-view and she's MIA all over again.
Yep.
So where is Camille? Um, no Mina Shirakawa, who has seemed to be heavily involved in things.
Mhm.
Marina Shafir was part of the Death Riders segment with Ospreay, but really just there because she's part of the
Mhm.
group, so
Yep.
she didn't really do anything. You've lost all momentum with the tag teams. Harley's been MIA since they lost. you know,
Is she? She might be. I almost said wounded. She might be injured. I'm not
she
100%.
might be. I don't know. She might be. But you know what I mean? Like to your point, you've got all those, and then of course the biggest of the women, Mercedes Moné, is still not there. And I get that she took time off, but if the idea is I think that at some point relatively soon they're going to make a women's title match. I have no idea who Tekla is going to defend against because I don't think you have anybody ready, heated up for that spot.
Mm-mm.
But at some point you're going to make that match. You're going to put it on Double or Nothing. And I do think that that's when we're going to get the Mercedes return.
Right.
And build for her and Tekla at All In.
I think I think that's a smart move if they go with it.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, really the only one logical to try and take on Tekla would be Willow because she's a belt holder and she's the only one that has any kind of coherent momentum right now. But
Mhm.
like you said, we haven't seen her today. So, although hats off to her, she's been competing a lot. It's not like she hasn't been absent from TV for a while. It's just we
Yeah.
didn't get to see her tonight, which again, a little disappointing.
Yeah, and they can sell
But
it as the shoulder injury,
yeah, yep,
so I get it, but it's just a vignette probably wouldn't have been a bad thing there.
yeah. Show her
Um,
face, show her talking. Give us 30
yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, I agree with you. They got a lot of work to do on the women's side of things. But overall, I thought this was a really good show, and again, you very much you have my attention on a whole bunch of different storylines headed
Yep,
into Double or Nothing.
yep,
You know, normally I think for any wrestling promotion, if you've got one person interested in like 3 storylines, you're doing pretty good.
yeah,
I think you're doing pretty good at that point. I would say at this point, I'm interested in probably 5, maybe 6, where I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Like, okay, you have my attention. That's pretty damn impressive.
yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Let me. And I thought of this tonight as we were talking, and when you brought up Mina Shirakawa, it made me think. I'm going to pitch to you that it's not Sheeta who turns heel. That it's that Statlander turns and joins up with Sheeta, and they're actually going to form a team on the other side of the coin, and it's Statlander that's going to take out Mina Shirakawa.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay,
And
so
like I'm a fan of it because I just thought of it and it makes a little bit of sense. But the thing that I don't, if that is where we're going, because at this point anything's possible because they haven't really given us a clear path.
yeah.
Um, it means Stat once again has been flip flopping, but to me that makes a little more sense to have Sheeta win her back over as opposed to this weird turn that they're trying to do with Sheeta when they made it obvious she was going to be a heel. I would, and maybe I would just rather see Statlander do that and let him be, because then I think then I think you have a legitimate challenger to Divine Dominion with those two.
Yeah, I think you do too. I think
But they
that's
have to be on the
interesting.
same page. If we're going to believe that they're going to win, they have to be on the same page. Unless you're going to give us this weird you know, throwback Hogan Macho where they didn't get along, but they were still the champs. I mean, that could be interesting for a while, but they're going to have to do something different with that story to heat that up if that's the angle they're going to go with.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I have a suspicion that where this is going is that those two are going to be the challengers for Divine Dominion, which again then makes me wonder what we're doing with the Brawling Birds after all that hype.
Yep.
But I have a suspicion that these two, that Sheeta and Statlander, are going to be the challengers for Divine Dominion. I think they might win, but I think they might keep them completely as is and just be like, yeah, Sheeta is kind of a heel, but kind of not. But Statlander's just like, whatever. I don't like. She seems to not care. She seemed to not care at all that Sheeta suplexed her tonight.
But she didn't let her use the kendo stick.
Right. So I have a suspicion that's where it's going to go. I think right now, as it pertains to anything in the women's division, prepare yourself to be confused and probably disappointed.
unfortunately.
they're just not doing it very well right now. They've what it feels like to me is they have put a lot of effort into the men's world title scene,
Mhm.
which I get.
Yep,
I understand that.
as they should.
Yeah, and it feels to me that they've had a plan in place for months now. I don't think any of it really started to take shape until recently, but it feels like, no, they've been planning this for a while,
Right.
which tip of the cap again. Good job. It feels to me like they've got a pretty coherent plan for that. They've got an idea of what they're doing. They know what they're doing with Mox and Ospreay,
Mhm.
and that's very interesting. I think they've got a plan for the tag team stuff.
Yep, I was just gonna say I think that is on course
Yep,
for them.
yep. So, I think that they have taken their time with several areas to figure it all out, but they haven't done everything yet. And like I think the TNT title falls into that. Now, granted, that's not their fault. Fletcher getting hurt, obviously they had to change plans on the fly, and they're
Mhm.
probably building that airplane in the air. I get that.
And what they've done, putting it on Kevin Knight, I think is actually really smart.
I agree.
You
I
know,
will
and
say
keeping
though,
him relevant is, even
yeah,
if you have to throw him at the world title to keep him on TV, I'm fine with that.
I will say it has hurt Speedball though.
Oh, yeah. I really thought we were gonna see a Speedball turn or Kevin Knight turning on Speedball long time ago. Like,
I think they
the
need to have
next
those
week.
two. Yeah, I think they need to have those two go at it for the TNT championship. Um,
Oh, I
you
agree.
don't even have to turn one of them. I think it just needs to be
Mhm.
it can just be like a, hey man, yeah, like let's do it. You know,
Yep.
um,
But I really thought they were leaning towards that because when they brought out Kevin after he won, he
mhm,
was inching towards that, "Damn, I'm good," kind of heel turn
yeah,
of course I'm good. Why wouldn't I go after the world title?" So I was a little surprised we haven't seen that yet. But yeah, just let let him turn to his friend and be like, "Hey, you deserve a shot. Let's do this."
yeah, yeah, and I think that's all they have to do. And I'd be on board for it, and I think it'd be a really good match. But in the meantime, Speedball is stalling for sure.
Yep, he's another one that was absent tonight. And
Yeah.
again, I get it. You can't
Well,
put
he
everybody
came
on
out
TV.
a little bit on the entrance, but that was it.
Oh, I
He didn't
think I
even
missed
walk him to the ring. He just came out
that. Oh,
from the wing with him, and
so they're fighting. That's what I'm reading into this. They're
yes,
fighting now.
clearly.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, they're spatting.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you've got several things going here where you've got some really strong story going and some really interesting stuff. And then you've got some things where it's like, well, that needs some work.
Yeah.
Um, and unfortunately right now, most of that is centered with the women, which is a real bummer. But
And what I find weird is I'm most intrigued by the Will Osprey John Moxley storyline right now.
yeah, I agree. I'm really, really interested in that. Secondary to that for me is the Swerve Bandido thing.
More from just a pure curiosity standpoint,
Yes, exactly. I'm
because I'm like,
super curious.
I think I know the angle you're going for, but okay, I'll watch that
Yeah.
match any day.
Yeah, I'm super, super curious about where we're going with that. So I think those are like my top 2 angles, and
Yeah.
then I'd say at that point, then probably the world title for me.
Mhm. Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Because I
and
think
then
that's where I'm at, and then you've got the tag titles
yeah, I would say the
after
tag
that.
titles, that's exactly what I was gonna say, tag titles after that, and then probably the Jericho, the demand stuff
Yeah.
would be
Yep.
after that for me. Yeah.
Mhm.
So like I said, what was that? That's like 5.
Yeah, that's a solid I mean, that's a solid batch of storytelling they had. Like I said, I'm very happy with the fact that they're trying to go story first and they're putting a lot of that out there. And I think they're not doing a terrible job of it. Some of it's getting a little bit sloppy, and that's not anyone's I don't know. I'm not going to point any fingers because I've never stepped in the ring, so who am I to judge? But I do feel like the women are suffering. I think Speedball has suffered a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would
I
like to see that tightened up with the women.
Yep. It's really hard. Like, I get it. You have, so many hours of TV a week. And was it 4? hours of TV a week, I believe, for them.
Yeah.
It's hard to get everything in there.
Yeah. Next week we get a 3-hour Dynamite though. So
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to get everything on that you want to get on, and it's a very difficult balancing act to give everybody the spotlight that you wanna give them and to give everybody the time that you need to give them to build these stories. So I get that. I'm not super critical of that. That's a difficult thing to do. But, you know, again, I think that that's where, you know, and a little bit of grace here. We're only, you know, on one hand, you go, well, we're like 7 years into this almost. But on the other hand, you're 7 years into it. you think there's still a ton to be learned in that amount that you learned a ton in that time. And there's still a lot more to be learned. And I think that we're seeing the evolution of that and seeing them try to figure out a better way to organize all this to make sure that people are getting the time that they need. And I think they're getting better at it,
I would agree. Yeah.
but I think they still have work to do there. And you know what? I have a suspicion that Tony Khan would agree with that. I have a suspicion that he would say, "Yeah, I'm still figuring that out."
Mm-hmm. And I realize I'm being a little hard on the women's division, but the Tony Storm thing really threw them.
I think so too.
That
I think
really threw a monkey wrench into things.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yeah, I think they had big plans for her, and all of a sudden we're like, "Okay, we got to pivot, and we got to pivot hard, and we're not sure what we're going to do."
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Here's what I am a little bothered by is they've hinted at it, and I don't like it when they don't focus. Is they've hinted at all these clues as to who beat her up in the back. Let's have a. Is that going to be a thing or not? Because if it's not, shut up about it. Stop bringing it up every once in a while, and show us what you're talking about. Because every time it's mentioned that yes, there was a kendo stick back there, and then I think every time they bring that up, someone on the announce team goes, well, there were a lot of clues back there. Okay, like what? Show us. Tell us.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
that alone would be a path for the women's division. Then you could work everybody in. My God.
yeah. On one hand, I'm mildly curious where they're going to go with that. But if everything that has been put out there of she's going to be out for a long time is true, you have to slow burn it. And I think what they're I think this is we're trying to figure this out as we go of we don't want you to forget about it.
Right.
But we also can't advance it too much because she may not be back until, you know, I mean, it's April 29th. What if she's not back until mid-March of 2027? And she might even be out longer than that. What if she's out the full year plus? You know, I mean,
that's possible and probable, but there's no reason why we can't see Mina take a tack and find a culprit or a suspect and run that into the ground and then prove innocent, you know, and then go and then go and then go.
Well, I guess that's my question then to you is, do you want to watch her do that for the next, let's just say calendar year, for the next 365 days?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
I mean, look, if you do, like legitimately, if you do, awesome. And there probably is a way to do it where it's pretty interesting. I'm just not sure that I don't think they're fully prepared to commit to that because I think there's two things at play here. Number one is I get I am under the impression that they don't know when Tony's going to be back.
I agree. Yep.
And when you don't have that information, real hard to work backwards off that.
Very true.
The other part of it is I don't think they know who the attacker is.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. My only point with it is, and I don't think we need to drag it out for a year, but my only point is you have a built-in mechanism to bring in a bunch of names into some TV storyline and give them an opportunity and a story, even if they end up not being the culprit or whatever. You at least have a way to get some names on TV and get some people, you know, into something that matters and give them something to chew on. And from there, you could build other stories off of that. And then if that main story fades into the background, we won't mind as much because now you've built these 3 other stories from it because of this one thing. And I just feel like it's a missed opportunity to bring in other, some names that you've been struggling to get on and get some momentum with. And I think it's like I said, I think it's just a bit of a missed opportunity, and I understand the hesitation from a logical standpoint, but I also would like to see them take advantage of this. That's all.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think that I think all your logic there is sound. Again, I think that they're building this airplane in the air and they're doing their best to try and figure it out. And
Mhm.
it's the problem is I think we're watching the sausage get made a little bit here.
Oh, yeah,
We're
100%.
watching them try to play it out in real time, and they're doing stuff on TV and then basically going, how do we feel about that? Did that work? Did it not?
Right.
Do we want to come back to that? I think that that's kind of what we're seeing here, and that's why it's like Nina's on TV, then she's not. This person's on TV, then they're not. Like I think that that's a lot of what's going on there, and yeah, I mean, whatever's going on with Tony Storm really messed things up for them on the
Yep,
women's side of stuff. I mean, I think it just did.
yep. Bring back Ruby Soho.
Yeah,
She's about due
she
to come
just
back.
done.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
She had a
either.
baby. They got
Yeah,
married, had a baby. They
yeah.
opened up a like
Like
a
a game
game
store.
cafe place,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which dope, love it,
Mhm.
but bring her back.
If she's willing to, you could use
Yeah.
some help. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a
Well,
nice that'd
and
be a good
now
that would be a great name to bring back just to at
you
least
would.
look, if we don't have a plan, that's fine. She could wrestle, she could have
Yeah.
a 4-week program with Tekla.
Yeah. Well, and now of course you've got the added wrinkle of the releases that just happened of 24, I think is what the final count was, 24 people that are going to be out there in 90 days, so
Oh, yep.
who
I don't
knows.
know, oh, who is it? Was it Io Sky that got released?
No, it's Kyrie Sane.
Irie Sane.
I would love
She's the one name that I think, okay, I'd be down bringing her on board.
I would love for AEW to get her, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that she's going to do Stardom in
Probably, yeah.
Japan. I think I think she wants to live in Japan is
Mhm.
what I've read. So,
But if this is how we get the Motor City Machine Guns into AEW for a
I
year,
think that's happening.
I can't wait.
I
Can't wait.
think I think Motor City Machine Guns are almost definitely coming.
I hope
I'd
so.
love for Kyrie Sane to come. I'll tell you, one of the names that I think is very interesting for AEW is Apollo Crews. I think he could be
Yeah.
interesting, especially if you put him with the Hurt Syndicate.
Mhm.
I think
Yep.
that could be really interesting.
That Yes. What I don't wanna see is half of them show up. I don't wanna see that. You know
Oh,
what I
I
mean?
don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah,
I don't
I don't think
either,
that's gonna happen.
but
And I'll say this too, people that immediately started salivating over Alistair/Malachi Black, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't either. Have you seen all the backlash from all the AEW people? They've been like, "No
Yeah.
thanks. Nope. No,
Bunch of
thank
people
you."
just immediately like, don't want him. Mm-mm.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, well.
So, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well, give me the Motor City Machine Guns
I
and
think that's
First
gonna
Stain, and
happen.
I'd be happy.
I think that's gonna happen because I think that the Young Bucks are salivating over that. I really do.
I agree. They should be because
They
that.
should be.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we could do a whole episode on just dream tag team matches if you bring them in and how freaking good it would be.
You know what? I got time. I
Might have
got
to
the
do that.
time to do it.
Might have to do that
Yeah.
because that's so good. I
Yeah.
love those guys. I think they're one of my favorite tag teams. I'm just a fan,
Yeah.
just a big fan. So
Yeah.
good.
No, I think that is definitely gonna happen, but I suppose nothing is certain, but I think that's pretty likely. I think
Yep.
Tony's going to go after them hard, but
I think they should. Yeah.
we shall see in
All
90
right.
days.
Yep.
So
Well, we've talked a lot tonight.
we have.
Went over an hour. Last 10 minutes was just me yammering on about the women's division and fanboying over the Motor City Machine Guns. But like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell all your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Make new friends, tell them.
Exactly. Just yell it at random strangers in the street.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Be very beneficial. Be very helpful. Yeah. So like and subscribe. Rate the show if you enjoy it. It really, truly does help. We're on social media at Elite Heat Pod. Feel free to join the conversation. We'll get some more Darby stuff going, I'm sure, this week, and everybody's got thoughts on that, and I enjoy them. So
there you go.
By all means, let us know what you think about it, what all's going on there. Fantasy book it, all of that. I'm here for all of it.
Tell us what you think about the Swerve Bandido angle.
Yeah. Very curious about that one too. So on that note, we are on to next week, and we'll see if they capitalize on momentum that they built tonight or not.
Yep.
I got nothing else here.
Oh. Bye.
We didn't land the plane very well on that one. All right. Well.
Wait.
Mm.
Bye.